Hello everybody, it's Jess here with Bless Jess. Thank you so much for watching for another daily vlog. Just wanted to mention, if you have not subscribed to our channel, it would help us out so much. I get asked all the time, like, how can we help support your channel more? Because it does take a lot of effort to put these videos out. So if you could subscribe and hit that bell, that would help us out a lot. Also share our videos with a friend. If you enjoy them, that would also help us a lot. And then just watch our videos, comment, like, interact. That helps a lot too. So welcome you guys, welcome to my kitchen. If you are new, my name is Jess. I am a mom of 3, a 9-year-old with special needs. I have a 7-year-old and also an almost 2-year-old. He turns 2 in just a couple days, y'all. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But welcome you guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm gonna carry you along with me today. Let me just give you the backstory here. We moved to Indiana back in April. And we are from South areas. Like, we grew up in Alabama. We lived in Texas for 6 years, San Antonio, Texas. So we are used to warm weather. And we now live in Indiana, and it's South Indiana. So we don't get as much wintry snow and ice and stuff as a lot of places in Indiana gets. But we are getting some, and we're not really used to it. So we have an ice/snowstorm coming. Today it's just raining. So you guys see, can you see how dreary it looks out there? Yesterday was beautiful, warm, actually sunny, gorgeous. It felt so nice outside. Like, I didn't even wear a jacket to the gym. I mean, it was like 50 degrees for us. That's pretty warm because it's been really low. However, tomorrow morning, the ice snow mix is coming, and it's kind of getting me scared a little bit because I will be fine unless we lose power. And then I'm kind of nervous about it because my 9-year-old with special needs doesn't really understand loss of power and all of his electronics not working, the internet not working. Not to mention, I can imagine us being very, very cold if we lose power, because Friday, I think the low is 8 degrees. It'll be cold up in here. So we were just gonna see how it goes. I have plenty of blankets. I have candles. I have flashlights ready. This morning I went to Kroger and got extra milk. Kroger has a really good price on milk right now. It's 87 cents per half gallon. That is really cheap because milk is almost $3 a gallon at Walmart. Got milk, we have food, snacks, that kind of stuff in case we lose power, but we're just praying that we don't lose power and that we can just hunker down and play games. And I'm sure we'll do virtual school at some point because tomorrow and Friday, I'm sure they're not just gonna let the kids out of school. So we'll probably have virtual at some point tomorrow. I'm not sure when it's all gonna hit. I think the schools are kind of waiting to see how, you know, the timetable of when it's supposed to hit. So I don't know if they're going to get out early or not go tomorrow or go virtual or what. We're still waiting to hear. But they're in school today, so I'm trying to get every little thing done before everybody's home. I'm washing clothes. Like, I want to get everything clean so that if we lose power, we have clothes to wear. My little boy, Nate, he goes through so many pairs of clothes, y'all. So many pairs of clothes, because if he gets wet at all, he strips down. Yeah. So Mark is looking at my crock pot. Can you say hi? D. He sees the letters on my crock pot. So I'm also pre-cooking some chicken for a couple of dinners this week. And I want to tell you guys how I cook my chicken to make like the best shredded chicken for recipes and stuff. I take a bag of chicken breast. Actually, these are chicken tenders, just raw chicken tenders. They were frozen. I put them in the crock pot. I fill it up with water, like to cover it. And then I add, come with me. I add a few spoons of this, better than bouillon, or you could add, you know, chicken bouillon to the water, or you could just use chicken broth instead of water. But I like that better than bouillon. And then I just add some seasoning. I added a little bit of seasoned salt, some garlic powder, some onion powder. I think that was it. Pepper. And then this is just gonna cook on low all day. And it's gonna get really, really tender, and it's gonna stay really moist because of that, all that flavorful liquid it's cooking in. And then all I do is I take my hand mixer. I'll show y'all when I do it. And I take it out of the liquid. Don't do it with the liquid in there. Take the chicken out into a big bowl and just use your hand mixer, and it shreds it perfectly. And it's so good to put in enchiladas or casseroles or soup or anything. So that's what I'm making today. Tonight for dinner, we're just having leftovers. Mark is so ready for bed. We're just having leftovers tonight. So this is just for coming up in the week. Also, my in-laws, David's parents, were supposed to come tomorrow to stay with us for the weekend for Mark's birthday. His birthday's on Sunday. And I'm pretty sure this storm is going to make it to where they can't come. So that is a super big bummer. I was going to make sour cream chicken enchiladas and stuff. I probably will still make them, but then I'll just make them again when they get to come. It's a bummer. The storm is ruining Mark's birthday. So we'll just have like a little family celebration without Grammy and Grandpa, it looks like. I don't see how they're going to be able to drive and all of that. So they live in Alabama. We live in Indiana. It's about a 6-hour drive. So I can't imagine, unless it just dissipates, but I can't imagine it doing that. It looks bad. So we'll have a little party for him after church on Sunday. Just a family, just me and Daddy and the kids. So anyway, I have been doing laundry, cleaning, dusting, just trying to get, like I said, trying to get everything clean in case we do lose power. At least I can start the house with it being clean. When Mark lays down, I'm going to do some of my editing and stuff. So I am a stay-at-home mom, but it's also turned into me being a work-at-home mom, which is such a blessing. And I am my own boss, you know. I get to just decide what I want to do, but I do work really hard at it. I need to edit 2 videos during nap time, and also do some emails and thumbnails and all the things. So I'll be working in the office this afternoon. So I'm trying to get like all the little stuff done while Mark's just playing. And you guys come with me. We are going to spend the day together preparing for this storm. Fingers crossed that videos keep going up like normal, but if it just stops, y'all know I lost power, but hopefully it won't. I'm a little nervous. Like everybody's like, the town is a buzz. I was at Kroger this morning and everybody was talking about it. And I was like, oh no, it's happening. We love snow, but I don't love the storms where like, oh, you could lose power and road conditions are bad and the kids are home from school and you could have no heat. Like that's really scary. So I want to pull my blankets out and make sure they're all ready to go. I've got them in the garage, so I want to make sure if any of them need to be washed. I have them like in these little bags, like zipped up bags, so they shouldn't like, they should still smell good and stuff, and not just be sitting in a dirty garage. So hopefully I'm going to pull those out and make sure if any of them need to be washed, go ahead and wash them. Make sure all the clothes are clean. Get my candles, they're ready to go. So cook this chicken. Anything I can pre-do. So I'm going to go feed Mark lunch, put him to bed, and then I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, little story time here. Short story time. It's still only 11:38. Mark's still playing. We haven't done lunch yet. I was watching Fallon over on Moss Family TV this morning, and she was making scalloped potatoes. And for whatever reason, it just triggered in me the fact that I have a bunch of potatoes that were like literally about to go bad. Like they needed to be used up, and I totally forgot about them. And so, Mark just opened the door to the laundry room. I'm sorry if y'all hear that very loud dryer. So I thought, oh, I can make scalloped potatoes today, and that will use them up. And that sounds good anyway. So I had these yellow potatoes. I went ahead and peeled them and washed them, and I'm just letting them kind of dry. I'm going to take my rotary grater. Thanks, buddy. I'm going to take my rotary grater and get them really sliced thin. Fallon used some cheddar cheese soup to make her sauce. I do not have that, and I'm not going back to the store. So I found a recipe that you can make your own with just a little bit of flour and milk and then cheddar cheese, which I have plenty of. So I think I'm going to make this today. It has to bake for a while. I might go ahead and bake it and everything. And then we can have this throughout the week for, you know, sides of our meals. Sounds good, right? So I am going to get slicing these up, and I'll show you guys. The recipe called for about 2 pounds of potatoes. I think this is close enough. It's all the ones I had. So they're pretty small. It took forever to peel them. Anyway, now they're peeled and they'll slice up really quick, and then I will get them in a pan. All right, I'm going to walk you guys through how I did this. I love this rotary grater for cheese. This is the first time I actually used the slicer part of it, and this was so much fun, y'all. This was like so satisfying. It made such quick work of this. You could also just get a knife and cut them really thin, but this made them paper thin, and it was so fast. Mark was in the high chair eating lunch, and he was laughing every time the more potatoes would come out. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit. But anyway, I cut all of them, got them all done. It just took like just a few minutes. Honestly, it was so fast. And once I got a big pile of them, I'm going to start assembling the potatoes. So I sprayed my 8x8 pan, and I did a layer of potatoes. If they overlap, it's okay. I sprinkled them with salt and pepper, and then added a small layer of cheddar cheese. And then I just repeated this process till I got the pan full of them. Layer of potatoes, salt, pepper, and cheese. Potatoes love salt, so you want to make sure you season each layer. At the very end, I stopped when I got to the layer of cheese that I wanted. So I'm going to finish with that on top. But I just kept layering, and then I'm going to stop right here and make the cheese sauce. So in a saucepan, I took a few tablespoons of butter. I will link the recipe I used. I didn't really follow it exactly, but it's loosely based off of the recipe I used. That's kind of how I cook. I got some flour in there. So 3 tablespoons of butter, about 3 tablespoons of flour. And then I'm going to let that kind of cook together. We're going to make a roux. Don't be afraid of a roux. It's really, really easy. Once that cooks for a minute or two, we're going to add some milk. I have found that if you add this a little bit at a time, it comes together a lot faster. So it kind of heats up more gradually, and it's just easier to thicken up. Basically, you're thickening up milk. That's what you're doing. So I just add a little bit of milk at a time. Once it gets thick, I add a little bit more milk until I've got all the milk incorporated. It was about 2 cups of milk. So got that in the pot. And the next thing I did was I added some salt and pepper. So I got that in, salt and pepper. You want to make sure you season everything, every layer. And I added a dash of hot sauce. The recipe I used asked for cayenne, but I was out of cayenne, and this worked just as good. This bottle was so hard to deal with. It just came out slow. I'm sorry if you hear Layla in the background. She's drinking water. So I put a few dashes of hot sauce in. Don't skip that. And I also added some American cheese. This wasn't in the recipe either, but I thought it would add a nice creaminess. So I added like 3 or 4 pieces of American cheese. Totally optional, but I liked the way it made the sauce very, very like smooth and silky. So I'm going to use a whisk and whisk that all together. The next thing was I added about a cup or so of cheese, and I like this like freshly shredded kind of cheese, maybe a little bit less than a cup, maybe half of a cup or so. This recipe, basically I'm showing you the method. You can make this however you want it. Then once all the cheese is all melted together, you are done with the sauce, and you're going to pour it very slowly over the potatoes. So this is kind of where I thought I messed it up, and I didn't show you guys everything I did because I was like, went really bad. My sauce was a little thick, and so it would not soak into the potatoes like I needed it to. So next time I will layer it a little bit differently. But what I ended up doing after I topped it with cheese, you're about to see me topping it with a little more cheese and also some paprika. But then what I did after I turned this part off is I used like a spoon and just kind of poked holes in all of this and let that sauce really go throughout the casserole. And it worked out fine. So I put it in a 350-degree oven for about an hour and a half. It got really crispy on top, which I really like. It was not burned. It was just really crispy on top. Bubbly. You guys, this is one of the most delicious things I have ever made. It turned out perfect. So highly, highly recommend. Okay, guys, so I'm here waiting at the door for the kids, and I just got an email from the school. I knew it was going to happen. They called tomorrow for e-learning. So we're all doing virtual learning tomorrow. Yay. I knew it was coming though, because it's supposed to be really yucky this is a weird light, weather tomorrow. So that's gonna be fun. And then they said, like, well, we know that power outages and internet outages may be going on, so there's gonna be no required like Zoom calls, Google like live meeting, but we'll still be posting assignments. I'm like, well, how can we see the assignments if there is possible power outages? I don't know. So that'll be a fun time tomorrow. But hopefully, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's not as bad as I think and then go to school Friday. Is that like wishful thinking? I don't know. But today it's just rainy and gross. Layla keeps going out there and then coming right back in. So, you guys saw, if you watched my vlog a few times, last week? I don't remember when it was. A few vlogs back that I bought her this little coat, like a little doggy coat. That would be good for the rain or snow. She hates it. She will not wear it. She hates it. I put it on her and she just froze and like she would not move. So I'm thinking maybe if it gets cold enough, I'll try again, but she's not having it right now. She's just not having it. She's a little bit spoiled, y'all. Hey, Layla. Anyway, the potatoes are done and they look so good. I cannot wait to have some with my dinner tonight. I think I'm gonna have like a leftover meatball sub with the potatoes and maybe a salad. That sounds really good. So anyway, I'm gonna keep waiting for the kids. We'll start.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art.
Alright, you guys, we've had a good afternoon. Kids were in a great mood. Everybody's been playing and having fun and kind of gearing mentally up for tomorrow. I'm kind of scared, y'all. I just hope it doesn't get too bad and we don't lose power, and because I'm just worried about being cold. I'm not worried about me being cold. I would be fine if it was just me, but my babies. You know, I can sit under a blanket, but they're not going to understand if it's cold in the house when they're trying to sleep. It's even like little things that we take for granted, like their sound machines, you know, and stuff like that. We don't have those. It's very hard. I remember when a big snowstorm came when we lived in Georgia. You guys may remember this. I did vlog it. And Nate had an EEG. It was when he was getting some tests done for his autism. We drove to Chattanooga, got the EEG done, and we got home and a huge snowstorm hit. And so he was kind of groggy from some of the sedation from that. And we lost power fairly early on in the evening. And he had a hard time. The darkness of everything, not having his sound machine. He had a hard time. We ended up putting him in bed with us. He was like 5 or 6, maybe. I don't remember. Maybe a littler than that. He was little. And we put him in bed with us and he could not go to sleep. He was so upset and didn't understand why none of his stuff was working. And we ended up lighting a candle. And as long as he could see the candle as he was laying in bed, he went to sleep. But it was such a long night. Thankfully, we only lost power for one night. Lucy was little enough that I don't think she didn't have any trouble going to sleep, but it was really weird. And so I'm hoping that we don't lose power. But anyway, it is what it is. We are prepared as best we can. And we trust God, you know. So I'm kind of bummed for them to have to do virtual learning tomorrow, but At least there's no Google Classroom like virtual lives or anything they have to watch. It's just doing the work when they want to, when we can do it. And I'm gonna say they're never gonna want to do it, but we can do it a little bit all day and not have to worry about certain times. I wanted to tell y'all, I am so full because those scalloped potatoes, literally some of the best things I've ever made in my life. Like, they were so good. They were the best scalloped potatoes I've ever had. I got kind of worried because I screwed them up a little bit at first, and I got the sauce too thick so it didn't sink down, and I had to like add extra half and half and like try to stir them to get all the liquid all the way down those potatoes. But they were perfect. It was perfect. The hot sauce, much needed. It was not spicy at all. Not spicy at all. But the flavor of that was so nice. Like, you got a little bit of a little something, and then the cheese. It was perfect. It was perfect. I don't even know if I could recreate it because I feel like I did so many weird things to it trying to fix it. And then I kind of burned the top, but it wasn't burned. It tasted like, you know when you get like cheese toast, if you do use like American cheese and that top part is kind of toasted, that's what it tasted like. It was so good. So if you have some leftover potatoes, use them up and make that. Or if you just want to buy some potatoes to make that. It was perfect. It was so good. So we have a bunch left over, but I ate way too many of them because they were so good. So good. And then I had leftover meatball sub, and tonight's leftover night. So leftover meatball sub, I had some salad, and then those potatoes, and they were so good. So anyway, I'm hanging out with the boys. David and Lucy are at church. The bad weather is not started yet. It's just raining outside. So it's not supposed to turn to sleet until like early morning. So we shall see how it goes. David was actually teaching tonight because our pastor's sick. He's got the flu. So yes. Anyway, so David's teaching. Lucy's in children's class, and I'm thinking there's probably not gonna be a lot of people at church because of the weather. And all the schools being canceled and everybody getting ready for the storm. But I don't know, hopefully that they'll have some people. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night because I have no idea how long this vlog is, but I feel like it's getting long, like in the back of my head. I never time these out, but I kind of know about where to stop it. Sometimes one gets away from me and it ends up being like 30-something minutes. I try to end around 20-something minutes. I don't know how people do like 10-minute vlogs. I talk more than that. I can't do it. So anyway, I'm just hanging out with my boys and getting lots of cuddles in. Mark is so freaking smart. It's amazing to me, like every day, what he is doing. He just counted to 20 for me. He knows all of his shapes. He knows all of his letters, even by like I have letters on my shirt and he was like telling me each one. He knows all kinds of animals, and like he is just brilliant. I know I'm his mom, but I'm like, good grief, I don't take any credit for it. He's just gifted. I don't know, y'all. But he's been so sweet tonight, and we've been playing in his room a lot, and it's just been a good day. So I love you guys. Say a prayer for us. By the time you're watching this, the storm is over, so I will be updating soon. Sorry to leave y'all hanging. We're hanging right now, not knowing what's going to happen, but I hope everybody's staying safe and warm. If you like the vlog, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Please subscribe if you're new. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into